So our ultimate goal is to build a broadcast hub that can be used for people to text each other about events. But we're going to start off simple and just write a simple app that whatever text comes in from somebody, we'll just invite them to join the list. So it's just going to be quite simple. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to drag in a texting component into the user interface. You'll notice I have the component designer up, I have the blocks editor, and I have two emulators. Okay, this is where we're going to test our app, and because it's a texting app, we have two emulators up so we can send a text back and forth. So first thing I'm going to do is bring in a texting component from the social area. So think of the texting component. It's a non-visual component, so it shows up at the bottom here. It won't show up on the UI of my app, but think of it as this little guy that knows how to respond to text. Okay, I'm also just going to add a real simple user interface. I'm going to add a label. Okay, and I'm going to rename that label. Well, first I'm just going to put some message in their status. Then I'm going to rename it status label, so I can use that name when I'm in the blocks editor. Okay, so all we're going to do with this label is when someone does text our app, we'll just report that they texted. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the blocks editor. A very simple user interface. I have this texting component to use, and I'm going to show how the app should behave. And all apps behave with kind of event handlers, these little event response blocks that show how the app behaves. In this case, my event I care about is a text being received by the phone. So I dragged from texting, I dragged a message received block. And notice the little when here. So when a message is received, what am I going to do? And that's really what app building is about. So in this case, what I want to do is when a text comes into my phone, I want to send a message back. Okay, so I'm going to grab a send message block. Okay, right now, App Inventor, my app doesn't know who to send the message to. So I've got to add a couple more blocks. One is I want to set the phone number who I'm going to send it to, and I want to set the message I'm going to send it to. Okay. The phone number I want to send it to is whoever the sender is. So this parameter up here, so when the message gets received, I know who sent it. This is a phone number right here. Now I can't grab this block directly. The way I grab references is I go to My Definitions, grab this number block, and it's a reference. Notice it says value instead of name. So I'm going to put this guy as my phone number. So I'm basically telling the little guy, the texting guy, hey, the phone number that I'm going to text to is the same one as the number of the person who texted me. Okay, the message is actually simpler. I can click on this main screen to see the built-in blocks and choose text and grab a text block. And I'm just going to say, please text join to this number to join the broadcast list. And I could say whatever I want here, but for now we'll just have a real simple message like this. And I'm going to stick this in as the message. So voila, we've got a texting auto response app. It's done. This is it. And no matter what someone texts me, I'm going to just respond by just with this little message here. Okay, we're not yet letting people join, but we're pretending we are. We're inviting people to join. Okay, let's test this. So I'm going to move the blocks editor out of the way, get my emulators here. From the blocks editor, I need to connect to one of the emulators. So I'm going to connect to 5554. Okay, and it was one of my emulators. It takes about 20 or 30 seconds. But once this comes up, my app will be running on this phone. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll send a message from this other phone, which doesn't have my app, but it has a regular texting app. Okay, and with emulators, these numbers up here, these are the phone numbers for the emulator. Okay, so 5556 can send a message to 5554, and all he's going to say right now is hello. Okay. Okay, and typically, if I didn't have my app running, which you can see it's running now, this would just go to my regular texting app. Okay, but what I'm going to do is send this message, and what my app should do is reply right back to 556 and say, hey, join the broadcast list. So let's see if that happens. So I'm going to send this message from my regular, the Android messaging app. There goes it sent. And let's see, okay. And message 5554 just received it, hello. And I don't know if you noticed over here, this emulator just received the invite. Okay, so this guy received a text hello, and he sent back, please text join to this number in broadcast list. So we built a very simple app quite quickly, and all of a sudden we got an auto response app. Okay, next up I'll show you how to actually let people join a broadcast list.